Welcome back. If this is your first time here on this channel and you experience any kind of issues with playback, please check out the link in the description to my mirrored account on BitChute.com, redpill_McKenzie. Now, in today's video, we're picking up where we left off. We're now in week 3 of January 2019 with the high-level resignations. Talking CEOs, CFOs, COOs, heads of state, police chiefs, you name it. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a new week until we catch up. But real quick, where do I get the names from? I get it from a site called resignation.info, maintained by Resignation Anon. And despite the meme I just showed you, there are actually a lot of good people on this list. Not everyone on this list is a bad person, but even though we've seen a lot of those, not everyone's going to be indicted. Go ahead and check out the link to the indictments if that's something you haven't seen already. There's also a feature on this site where you can report resignations. Anything not on the list since September 2017, or if it's just brand new, go ahead, put the link to that news article in there, submit it. Once it's been verified, it'll be added to the list. Now get this, if it's new and it's notable, chances are you're going to see it on the next resignation show. Every other Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. German time, with the next show being on April 28th, and it's hosted on a channel called In Real Life News. If you can't catch the link in my description, go ahead while you're hanging out on the site, link up with In Real Life News on the Resignation Show tab right there, and catch any of the episodes you may have missed along the way. Now that that's taken care of, though, let's get to the names. We have a board member to Alexander and Baldwin Inc. in the U.S., Janae S. Wall. We have the editor-in-chief to the New York Times in the U.S., Adam Moss. We have the CEO to Straumann Holding in Switzerland, Marco Gadola. We have the CEO to Question Mark Corporation in the U.S., Eric Shepard. He resigned and was replaced by Lars Peterson. We have the CEO to Rand Construction Company Inc. in the U.S., Linda Rabbit. She resigned and was replaced by Bob Milkovic. We have the CEO to that company in the Netherlands, Dirk Anbeek. We have the CEO to Beeld in the UK, Brian Logan. He resigned and went off to work for Capability Scotland. We have the chairman to Lithium Works BV in the Netherlands, Kees Koelen. We have the CFO to Intelsat in Luxembourg, Jacques Carest, retired. We have the president to Clay County Hospital in Illinois, Chris Hunt. We have a trustee to Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the U.S., Victor Vexelberg. He was fired. He's also a Russian billionaire, just as a side note. The CEO and president to Methodist Children's Home in Texas, Tim Brown. He retired. We have the vice chairman of the Conservative Party in the UK, Tom Pursglove. We have a board member to Pacific Gas and Electric Company, also known as PG&E in the U.S., Roger Kimmel. He resigned, but he's also the vice chairman of investment banking firm Rothschild Inc. That's just a side note. We have the CFO to Snap Inc. in the U.S., Tim Stone. He resigned and went off to be CFO at Ford Motor Company. We have the CEO to Reckitt Benckiser Group plc in the UK, Rakesh Kapoor, retired. We have the CEO to London Electric Vehicle Company in the UK, Chris Gubby, resigned and was replaced by George Hoffman. We have the CEO to the Fjords in Norway, Rolf A. Sandvik. We have the chairman to Meredith Corporation in the U.S., Steve Lacey. We have the CEO to Old National Bank in the U.S., Bob Jones. He retired and was replaced by Jim Ryan. We have the president to Norwalk Community College in Connecticut, David Levinson, retired. We have the CEO of Corporate and Employee Benefits to Alexander Forbes Group Holdings in South Africa, Tony Powis. We have also to the same company the head of Retail and Financial Service, Sungin Rhee Red. We have a sports reporter to NBC in the U.S., Bob Costas. We have the chairman to Skinder Foundation in the U.S., Joseph Skinder. He retired and was replaced by Cheryl Skinder. Don't know if that's his wife or something, probably related. Comment if you know. We have the chief to Depew Police Department in New York, Stan Carwile, retired. We have the president to Advanced Television Systems Committee in the U.S., Mark Richter, retired. We have the a U.S. attorney to the U.S. Department of Justice in the U.S., Annette L. Hayes. We have a chief to Rothville Fire Company in Pennsylvania, Claude Young Jr., retired. We have the councilwoman to Maples in Florida, Linda Penniman. We have a judge to San Juan County District Court in Washington, Stuart Andrew, retired. We have a director to Maine State Golf Association in the U.S., Nancy Story, retired. We have a chairman to UK Athletics in the UK, Richard Bowker. He had been facing a vote of no confidence in the UK Athletics Members' Council amid a breakdown in relations with the organizations that govern the individual home nations. We have interim president to Michigan State University in the U.S., John Engler. He resigned after criticism over recent statements around the time that he made about the girls and young women who were Larry Nassar's victims. We have chief of staff to New York City in the U.S., Kevin O'Brien. He was fired. He's the top aide to de Blasio, is what he was. We have the CEO and president to Easter Sales, New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont in the U.S., Larry Gammon, retired. We have the CEO to Stuart Wright Shoes Limited in the UK, Ian Watson. We have the CEO to Sherry Street Mission Ministries in Ohio, Dan Rogers. We have a representative to U.S. Congress, Thomas Anthony Marino, a Republican from Pennsylvania. We have the CEO and chairman to First Global Data Limited in Canada, Andre Itwaru. We have the CEO to Sutter Amador Hospital in California, Ann Platt, retired. We have the chancellor and president to Tyler Junior College in Texas, Mike Metke, retired. We have the CEO and president to the United Way of Bluegrass in Kentucky, Bill Farmer, retired. We have a director to RPMI in the UK, David Madison, retired. We have the CEO and we have the chairman to Trevally Mining Corp in Canada. We have the senior VP and general manager to Harbor Center in the US, Michael Gilbert, resigned after alleged sexual harassment. We also have a VP and director, Nick Fatty, due to the same thing. We have a chairman to the chairman to the Israel Bar Association in Israel, Effie Nevi, resigned a day after he was arrested on suspicion of promoting judges in exchange for sexual favors. We have a senior executive service member to U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in the U.S., Eugene Ban, retired. We have the CEO to Alive Corps in the U.S., Vic Gundotra. He's a former senior vice president at Google. Just a side note. We have a deputy general prosecutor to Slovakia, Renee Vinek. After it emerged that he had made online contact with a woman being held in custody on suspicion of ordering the murder of investigative journalist John Kuciak. We have the CEO to United Way of Northern New York in the U.S., Robert D. Gorman. We have the chairman to Agency for Science, Technology, and Research in Singapore, Lim Chuan Po, retired. We have the CEO and president to Bank of Clark County in Virginia, John Millison, retired. We have the CEO to Reading Agency in the UK, Sue Wilkinson, retired. We have the CEO and chairman to Tribune Publishing Company in the U.S., Justin Dearborn. We have the CEO to High Res Studios in the U.S., Eris Gordon, resigned and was replaced by Stuart Chisholm. We have the dean to the School of Medicine and Health Sciences in Virginia, Jeffrey Ackman. We have the head of Global Security to Snap Inc. in the U.S., Francis Raccioppi. He was fired after alleged sexual misconduct. We also had the head of Human Resources from Snap Inc., Jason Halbert, being fired due to the same deal, sexual misconduct allegations. We have director to Halliburton in the U.S., Jose C. Grubisic. We have the chairman to J. Crew Group Inc. in the U.S., Miller Drexler, retired. We have a mayor and the mayor pro tem to Forest Hill in Texas. Both resigned following accusations of misuse of city funds to attend a Michelle Obama event. We have the VP to Subway in the U.S., James Walker. We have the chief to Oregon Department of Transportation in the U.S., Matthew Garrett. We have these 4 board members to the University of Central Florida in the U.S. All were fired over a scandal involving millions of dollars in building projects. We have the chief to New York City Department of Fire Rescue and Services of Pennsylvania, David Michaels, retired. We have the industrial relations minister to the Australian government, Australia of course, Kelly O'Dwyer. Her term ended. We have the prime minister to Burkina Faso government, Paul Kaba Thiba. He's also the whole government resigned along with him. I don't know if it was because of that or not. We have the interior minister to the Afghanistan government, Amrullah Saleh, resigned in order to run for the vice presidency. We have a chairman to the Republican Party in Mahoning County in Ohio, Mark Monroe, retired. We have the president emeritus to the University of Central Florida in the U.S., John Hitt, resigned over a scandal involving millions of dollars in building projects. We have the CEO to Markle Catco Investment Management Limited in Bermuda, Anthony Belisili. Anthony B. resigned after a quote undisclosed personal relationship end quote was uncovered. We're the CEO to Markle Catco Bermuda, Alyssa Fredericks. She was in the undisclosed relationship. We have a chairman to the chairman to GlaxoSmithKline PLC in the UK, Philip Hampton. We have the CEO, chairman, and director, all one person, of Bangkok Airways in Thailand, Prasert P.O., resigned over SEC sanctions related to alleged wrongful trading of the company's shares. We have the secretary to Bangkok Airways in Thailand, NC, over the same reason due to the SEC sanctions. We have the CEO to Fraser's Centerpoint Asset Management in Singapore, Chu Tuan Chong, retired. We have the CEO and president to Jackson County Chamber of Commerce in Mississippi, Carla Todd Voda, retired. We have the CEO to Just Eat PLC in the UK, Peter Plum. We have the CEO to Scotch and Soda in the Netherlands, Dirk Jan Stappelenberg. We have the CEO to Lemuru Tea PLC in Kenya, Nicholas Yanakis. He resigned and was replaced by Gerardiana Johanna Maria Tendin. We have an Olympic figure skater to the U.S., John Coughlin. He died at the age of 33 due to suicide, most likely as a result due to several sexual misconduct allegations, including 2 from minors. We have a founder to Dacium in the USA, Brandon Tro. He died at the age of 40. And we have a senator from the Pennsylvania Senate in the U.S., a Republican, Richard Alloway, retired. That's it for this week. Don't forget, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a new week until we catch up. And don't forget to link up with In Real Life News so that way you catch the next Resignation show on April 28th. And as always, if you like my content, go ahead, please share, because sharing's caring. If you haven't already yet, go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. That way YouTube has no choice in what kind of content of mine you get to see. It's our best shot at it. Anyway, I hope you liked it. I love you all. God bless you all. This is Red Pill McKenzie.